So it's time to talk about some of the things that has been bugging you guys, and we've been getting a lot of questions about, and that is the toilet and the chickens. A lot of people are concerned and bothered by the location of our toilet in our bus conversion. The number one idea is it's too close to everything. Mm-hmm. It's too close to the sink, or it's gonna smell. You know, these kind of questions.
No privacy.
Yeah, privacy was
a big one.
Now, I tried making a video about this the other day. I wanted to post it, but it came out wrong. It's really hard to answer stuff sometimes without sounding defensive or argumentative. No matter how I tried to look at the situation to explain it to you guys, and no matter what we explain in this video, it's gonna come down to this. We're just building it the way we like it.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't really defend our point because there's no right way, wrong way, better way, worse way. It's just doing what we feel is good for us. And you guys might not agree with it. You guys might think it's gross, but it works for us.
Yeah.
But let's do our best to try to justify our position of where the toilet is. So the first thing is privacy. So how do we deal with the privacy issues in the bus? When somebody wants to use the toilet, is everybody going to be sitting there watching?
No, we're not going to all just stand there and stare at the person using the toilet. When somebody wants to use the toilet, everybody else can leave the bus, and then that person has complete privacy. Plus, the windows are tinted really dark. Plus, we're going to have curtains.
Yeah.
So it's like the ultimate private space.
That's one of the confusions I think that people have with our bus, is they're seeing it as a living, like a full living quarters, like a RV, and we're going to be in it all the time. But we're kind of building the bus for travel. So basically driving, and then when we get to where we're going, we get out. And nobody's using a toilet while you're driving. That wouldn't be safe.
Yeah, we'll pull over.
So the idea is that most of the time the buses can be empty because there's nothing to do in there and there's nowhere to go. It's not roomy, and there's nothing going on in there. So the next big complaint was that it was so close to the sink. Isn't that unsanitary? We put it next to the sink because that was kind of normal to us, and it's the only spot for it, really. So honestly, until the comments started rolling in, we didn't even consider that the toilet next to the sink would be an issue. Because in every home we've ever been in, the sink is always next to the toilet. It's just normal. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
So we were kind of confused by that, the questions about the toilet and sink being in close proximity. We're building a hand sink. And I mean, it's like any bathroom you go into, the sink is near the toilet. It's pretty normal.
Yeah.
So that confuses us. We're not really sure why it's an issue. I think one of the problems comes from people thinking that it's a kitchen sink and that we have a food prep area. That's been a big comment too.
Which we keep saying over and over. We're not going to be doing a kitchen in this bus.
We've said since the very beginning of the plan video, before we started, that there won't be a food prep area in the bus. We've said it multiple times.
No cooking, no food prep.
Because we're not living in there and we don't want to deal with the mess and food and hassle, and that's not what we're doing. So we just want a sink to wash our hands, brush our teeth, do little things like that.
Yeah.
And the proximity of the toilet to other things other than the sink, like the seats, the beds, I mean, we got to keep in mind, the bus is only 6.5 feet wide. You can't get away from it. No matter where it is in there, you can't get away from it.
It's a very small space.
And some people said put it in the back. The beds are going in the back, and there's no place else for the beds. We don't want it to be a mobile bathroom where all we have is a toilet in the back of the bus.
Yeah.
So we're trying to make the most of the space. A lot of people tell us, put it in the shed. The shed is an outdoor kind of area that I made on the bus where you open the doors and we have this little space. It's only 16 inches deep and my shoulder span is wider than that. So I would be in there like this and I would be wedged in the door and I couldn't move. That's not how you use the toilet.
And it would feel really claustrophobic, and I wouldn't like that.
So, I mean, realistically, there's just no place to put the toilet other than in the general location of where it is now. In a lot of bus conversions, you'll see they remove all of the seating, and that makes a ton of space for other things, and you could build a proper bathroom, and that would be cool, but we really want the seating. Like I said, this is more travel than...
like living in it.
Yeah. And some people said, well, if your toilet is close to everything, why not skip it altogether? Just get rid of the toilet and use public bathrooms.
For us, that's just not something we want to do because we just don't like public bathrooms for many reasons. They're not private, they're dirty, especially around urinals in a men's bathroom.
Yeah.
And
I don't use I hate using public bathrooms. I avoid them I don't use them.
And especially with a young boy who needs to use the toilet, we don't want to have to search out a public bathroom all the time as we're traveling because that would just be a hassle.
And you hate taking him in the bathroom.
Yeah. Because the toilets are made for adults and they have that big crack seat in the front and it's just gross. And I have to hold him on there and...
It's not fun.
And we'd rather just pull over, let him use the toilet, and then we can continue on.
Yeah, a lot of people talked about privacy, smells, sanitary, but all of those don't exist in a public bathroom. They're dirty, they're smelly, and they're totally unprivate.
Yeah.
You can just see and hear everything. So I don't see the benefit of using public bathrooms.
Yeah.
So basically, we're going to have the toilet close to everything in the middle of our bus, sitting right next to us. So how do we deal with the smell?
There won't be a smell.
Ideally, with the toilet system we're using, there's no odor, and it's pretty sanitary and clean. So the toilet we're going for doesn't contain any water. It's actually a dry system. We often call it a composting toilet because that's what a lot of YouTubers call it. But technically, it's considered a dry earth closet, a dry earth toilet. That's what you would call it. Now, dry earth toilets have been around and tested for way over 100 years. And they've been proven to be clean, odorless, sanitary, amazing. Mm-hmm. Now the concept is you use the toilet and after you're done, you just pour in some dry earth or some sawdust or other dry material that's absorbent. The drier the better, the finer the better. You want it to absorb. Earth is the number one, dry soil is the number one deodorizer and neutralizer. It will take care of all waste smells immediately. Since earth might not always be accessible, even though it's everywhere, you could easily get sawdust, charcoal, ashes, all kinds of things to put in there. People use pet bedding, all kinds of things. And the concept is you pour it into the bucket, you cover your waste thoroughly, and it eliminates the odor. Now, this system has been proven to reduce the transmission of disease, of smells, of everything. It's a very clean system. And the only reason we don't use it on a wide scale is because it's not convenient. People just like flushing their waste away with water because it's easy. Mm-hmm. But water is unsanitary and it spreads disease and it pollutes groundwater and well water. It's a bad system. We use, today in our modern society, a bad system to dispose of our waste.
Yeah.
So here's the point. If done right, there shouldn't be any odors. It should be totally clean. There's no splashing. There's no fecal matter spreading all over the bus. It's going to be a nice, clean system. So you still might think it's gross, but that's just what it is. I mean, we're going to have a toilet close to us and we're okay with that.
Yeah.
So that's the toilet story. I think we covered everything. You guys get the general idea of it is that we're just doing what works for us, and what works for us doesn't always work for everybody else. So we understand if it doesn't work for you, and that's okay.
Yeah.
We're not so weird about things. Bathrooms are normal. Everybody uses one. It's fine. We're just kind of accepting it as a natural part of life. That's a necessity, and I think we're going to be happy to have it in the bus. Now, some people suggested doing a portable type toilet that we could take out of the bus, set up a tent, and use. But that just sounds like a lot of work to us. And that lacks privacy, and you'd have to have a spot to set up a tent and carry a toilet in and out. We just wanted it simple. Toilet in the bus makes it easy for everybody.
So convenient.
So that's the story. Toilet, it is what it is. Now for the sad news. No, it's not sad. You guys want to know? Chicken update. How are the chickens? Do we have our chickens? We get that question a lot. We're not trying to avoid answering. We've just been so crazily busy that we haven't been able to do a chicken update, and we've wanted to. This is what happened. We got rid of our chickens. We sold them all. We were going to tell you guys, but we were waiting for a couple things to come together, and they took so much longer than we expected.
Yeah.
And part of that is like the bus and everything. We wanted to kind of explain going forward what our plans are right here. Things took so long that it got awkward, and then like we wanted to talk about it, but it's like then we start working on other projects, and then it's like we don't want to hide it, but we're not trying to hide it, but we just weren't ready to talk about it because I don't know, it got weird. So here it is. We sold them. A couple reasons. One, because we need to be a little more flexible, especially if we want to use our getaway bus.
Yeah.
We don't have anybody to watch our animals for us when we leave, so it's kind of awkward if we want to go someplace, and we just wanted the freedom. The other thing is just time and money. We wanted to work on other things, and honestly, it costs more money to raise your own eggs than to just buy them at the store, and a lot of people don't realize that. There's some people on YouTube who will try to promote you don't have to feed your chickens, or keeping chickens for free. They don't give them any feed. It's all gimmicks. It's not really true. You need to spend money to take care of your chickens. There's no feed, free feed.
Yeah.
There's nothing like that. Everybody who does those systems, they import waste, compost, scraps, something from someplace else, and that is resources coming in.
And if you don't feed them, like if they're not getting enough nutrients, they're hardly going to produce any eggs, and they're just not going to be as healthy as they should be.
So yeah, the chickens cost a lot of money, and we decided to just invest our money in other places, invest our time in other places, and free ourselves a little more to do the things that we want to do. To be honest, we're kind of bored of having chickens.
Yeah.
They're kind of like, everybody has chickens, but they're kind of overrated, and they've become such a, like, what would you call it? It's like a novelty that they just cost too much because the companies are jacking up feed costs, jacking up supplies. It's a novelty item. And on top of that, we were getting egg burnout. We just had too many eggs, and we ate too many eggs, and we got sick of them, and we just couldn't take all the eggs. So there's no point in paying for chickens as pets when you're not even eating the eggs. You're just throwing them out. It's just a waste.
Yeah.
That's the story. So I hope that answered some of the questions that you guys had about the toilet and the chickens. I know it's a weird combination, but those are the two kind of big things that we get a lot of that we never get a chance to answer. We're going to show the toilet and stuff more when we install the actual toilet. We haven't gotten that far yet, so you'll see it. Yeah, and about the chickens, we don't like trapping ourselves in a box of any kind of weird box, homesteading or otherwise, where we have to feel obligated to have certain things. We're just staying flexible, and the good thing about chickens is they're easy to get. If you want them, you can find them. So, whatever. For now, we just put it aside because it's not what we want. So I guess that wraps it up. Thanks for watching. We'll be back soon with another video. We're going to get to work. I got some more bus work to work on today. All kinds of things happening, but we'll get to that soon. So thanks for watching, and until next time, take care.
Bye.